of course, with a single deck of cards, you can do 6 piles of 6 cards each. That would only be a total of 36 cards. There's 52 cards in a standard deck. If you were to do that, the Surprisal value now jumps up to 15.51. So that's like taking 15 fair coins, tossing them into the air, calling heads on all 15 coins, and watching them all land heads up individually. Absolutely amazing. And that's the degree of surprise the spectator or spectators would experience in watching this performance here. And of course, we can go up one more and still stay within a standard deck of cards. We can go up to reading 7 minds at once. So 7 piles of 7 cards each, in which the spectator is freely choosing a card from each pile. The piles are randomly stacked and mixed thoroughly. The cards are put out a second time, and now the spectators just asked, where is your first selection? Which pile of 7 cards contains your first selection? The second they tell you, you know with absolute certainty what their first selection must have been. And then you can do that for pile 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You can nail each and every one of these. And typically what happens is when you successfully guess their first selection, there's a fairly mild reaction like, oh, wow, could be by chance. You had a 1 out of 7 chance of doing that. But as you continue to nail each one of these, their surprise, and in fact the Surprisal value just skyrockets. And I want to point out something here. The Surprisal for 7 piles of 7 cards each, it's almost 20 bits. Well, the Surprisal associated with being struck by lightning, and a person can look this up, you can look up the probability that an individual would be struck by lightning. It has a corresponding Surprisal value of 18 bits. So this right here would be more surprising than being struck by lightning in the sense of the probability that that would occur. Okay, so very, very unlikely. Okay. And then I have a summary here, if you want to see a summary page of the comparison of the Surprisal values for each of these. So 3 piles of 3, 4 of 4, all the way up to 7 piles of 7. And we can see this progression, of course, of Surprisal values. I'd like to give you another interpretation for just one of these. There's so many interpretations for the Surprisal value. One is in terms of coin tosses. That would be fine. An equivalent way to look at any of these, actually, is why don't we focus on 6 piles of 6, and we'll even round down the Surprisal value. We'll say it's just 15 bits. So the surprise associated with watching the successful completion of that performance is the same level of surprise someone would experience in taking a 15-question true-false exam for which they have not studied, and they're forced to just randomly guess the answer for each and every one of those 15 questions. So the Surprisal associated with this particular performance is the same, or a little bit more, than the Surprisal one would experience in getting all 15 of these true-false questions correct. So you ace the exam. You get 100% on the exam, and you were randomly choosing T or F. You had no idea, okay? So that gives you another interpretation of the degree of surprise one would experience in witnessing this particular event. And that's true for the others as well. You know, if we want to round it to 11, it's like acing an 11-question true-false exam for which you have no idea what the answers are. And then this one's almost a 20. 20 questions for which you have no idea what the answer is. And you just randomly write down TF, FTF, so forth, and you nail it. you get 100% on that crazy exam. Well, that's the same level of surprise an individual would experience in witnessing the successful performance of this routine here. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and we will be looking further into applications of surprisal theory in mathematical card magic. And we may even explain and give you further tools from combinatorics that will enable you to calculate these probabilities and surprisal values for yourself. So thank you for watching.